Oi pessoal, Happy Monday! E hoje eu tenho novidade para vocês, é uma novidade que eu nunca falei. Bom, nós temos promoção maravilhosa do Cambly, que dá 47% de desconto nos planos anuais e 10 minutos de aula grátis para quem ainda não conhece o Cambly. E essa promoção vai até o dia 7/7. O código é NUICRU47OFF. Off com 2 Fs, viu? Mas a maior novidade de todas é que nós estamos com um código para os kids. Então você que tem filho, que tem sobrinho, que tem afilhado, que conhece alguma criança que queira começar a fazer inglês, nós temos essa promoção maravilhosa que é NUICRU47OFF Kids, tá? E
Obrigado pelos códigos simples, Cambly.
E é o seguinte, o Cambly Kids foi desenvolvido especialmente para crianças de 3 a 14 anos e tem 3 tipos de planos anuais. 30 minutos por dia, 2 vezes na semana, 30 minutos por dia, 5 vezes na semana ou 30 minutos por dia, 7 vezes na semana. Em qualquer um desses planos, você recebe 47% de desconto. Os professores são especializados no ensino infantil, as aulas são particulares e seguem o ritmo de cada criança. Todos os professores são americanos, todas as aulas seguem currículo de aula visual e divertido e todas as aulas têm 30 minutos para otimizar curto período de atenção das crianças. Então, assim, é maravilhoso. Então, vamos lá. No ICRU 47 Off é para os adultos e no ICRU 47 Off Kids é para os kids.
Let's get on with the show?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hey, Alexia, how are you?
Hey, Foster, I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing well. It is a busy Monday. Alexia is telling me to speak more loudly.
Yes, please.
Because we are kind of in the street here in Portugal, so there will be some background noise, but we will do our best.
Yeah, and because people asked you to speak louder.
Well, okay, Emma. In the last episode, we talked about why do Portuguese people...
Why do I think that Portuguese people speak better English or have more access than Brazil and Brazilians?
Right. And your theory was first that they have better access and that the educational system is better.
Yeah.
Okay. So being the good teacher that I am, I did some research.
Okay, so let's hear that.
Okay. So there's this thing called the English Proficiency Index, which is produced every year by a company called Education First. Just a small disclaimer. I did work for Education First like 5 years ago. I'm not involved with this project. So these results are real. They're accurate. So in general, they have measured 88 countries in the world. What do you think Brazil's ranking is? Alexia's trying to see on the computer.
80 countries.
Alexia knows. Now I know that Alexia's just going to invent an answer.
Okay, so I'll tell them the answer right now. 53.
Brazil is 53rd out of 88.
Yeah.
And Portugal comes in at 19th. So the facts don't lie. You know what is interesting is Brazil has gone down every year. So English is getting worse in Brazil.
I wonder why.
No. Since we started Inglês no ICRU, it's getting worse in Brazil. I thought we were going to change the world.
Okay, so Portugal is on the 19th position.
Yeah, Portugal is in 19th and Brazil is
53rd.
And just to give a little bit of context, that puts Portugal in what they consider a high proficiency index ranking, which is the second highest. You have very high.
Which is the number one?
Who's number one? Do you want to take a guess?
I don't know.
Okay, it has to be a country that is not.
Netherlands?
Ooh, the Netherlands? Really good guess. They were number one last year, but they got
Ooh.
knocked out this year.
Finland?
Finland's definitely up there, but not number one.
Denmark?
Alexi is just going to name all of the Northern European countries until she arrives at
Germany?
Sweden.
Ah, yeah.
Sweden. I don't remember the exact numbers, but English is not the first language in Sweden. That would be Swedish, and still something like
French.
93% of people in Sweden speak English fluently,
Yeah,
which is crazy good education.
that's amazing.
That is amazing.
First world.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think about my opinions about Portuguese education here? Do you
Okay.
agree with it now? You don't agree with it now?
I do not really agree with it for several reasons. First of all, if you look at the percentage of how much that a country spends on education, that means how much of the national budget goes towards education. Brazil spends more than double the amount that Portugal spends.
Yeah, but there you go. You have the one of the biggest countries in the world and one of the tiniest
Tiniest. Yeah.
countries in the world. So it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But
So
I
you
mean,
can't argue with that.
oh, and if Brazil is giving, I don't know, let's say 200 million to education a year, we have to assume that 180 of that million goes to
Someone.
Lula, Bolsonaro, Neymar.
Neymar.
Yeah, none of that money is going to Inglês no Cru.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah. So one interesting thing is that the average number of years in the educational system is slightly higher for Portugal. So I believe the average is 9 years, more or less, to stay within, like, from preschool to high school. And then in Brazil, it's like 8 years, but not a huge difference.
No, is it? I thought it changed in Brazil. I
Talking
thought,
about the average.
yeah. Well, I was thinking about like I like that Portugal is so tiny and everything looks like more organized here and looks like everything works better here. But at the same time, Brazil is huge.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean, Portugal is smaller. The population of Portugal is smaller than just the city of São Paulo.
and it's like smaller. No, Porto is smaller than your city.
Yes, technically, Porto proper is smaller than Spartanburg, South Carolina, in terms of population. So that is strange. But would you like to hear my theory
Yes.
about why? So Portugal is really impressive because, like, 10 years ago, their level of language skills were not that high. And nowadays, I believe, let me look at the stats really quick. Okay, so Alexia, what percentage of Brazilians, no, you cannot look at the statistics. What percentage of Brazilians speak English to a professional level? So this is according to the English
15.
proficiency. 15?
Percent.
Lower.
Lower. 7%?
Lower.
5%.
It said in between 3 and 5%. And
Whoa.
that means to have an acceptable level for international standards of business. That means that you can speak English to a fluent advanced level enough that you go to an international office, you're good to go.
That's so low.
That is relatively low, yes. And that is coming from the W-O-L. Whoa.
Wow.
But I think they're just quoting English or education first. On the other hand, what percentage of Portuguese people do you think have an advanced level of English?
Okay, so most of the population of Portugal is old. I would say 40%.
40%. Wow, that's very high. Lower.
30?
32% of
It
Portuguese
wasn't
people
that different.
can speak and understand English to an advanced level. Even more impressive, what percentage of the Portuguese population do you think can speak and understand French to an advanced level?
50?
50? Well, you are being very optimistic about both countries.
I don't know.
24.
Portugal.
No,
I'm a
Brazil.
little bit confused right now.
Imagine, more or less 1 in 3 Portuguese people can speak English. 1 in 4 can speak French. According to this study, like 1 in 6 or 7 can speak Spanish, which I think is weird. I think that's a little low.
More.
Yeah.
I think it's more because, like, the old people who live in the villas and aldeias and really tiny places next to the Spanish border, all of them, they know how to speak Spanish and vice versa.
Yeah. I was imagining that number is very low because that is just looking at the educational system, people that have studied Spanish and learned it. And a lot of Portuguese people just know it because very close.
Yeah.
Neighbors. Yeah. So do you want to hear my theory about why these numbers exist?
Uh-huh.
So, number 1, I think is simply geography, right?
Maybe.
And number 2 is subtitles.
Maybe because you know that here in Portugal, just like I think France, it wasn't so long ago that all the movies in the movie theaters and things like that, they were all what's the name of that?
What's the name?
What's the name of that?
Dubbed. Yeah.
It was a law. In
Yeah.
France, most of the places are like this as well.
Well, luckily for you, I have statistics about why geography and subtitles are very important, and we will go in depth into that tomorrow.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Alexia. And all Brazilians, I am not trying to say any bad things about the level
No, we are
of
just talking
English.
about
We
facts.
have literally dedicated our life to trying to make it better, but we are just talking about the numbers because the numbers don't lie. Unless they aren't true. In that case, the numbers do lie. But I think they're pretty accurate in this specific case. So, Alexia, I will see you tomorrow.
Bye. Oi, pessoal. Obrigada por escutar mais um episódio do Inglês no Micro Rádio. Por agora, nós não estamos aceitando novos alunos para o Sound School. Mas, enquanto isso, tem umas coisinhas bem legais que vão te ajudar com seu inglês e que também vão apoiar esse podcast mais amado dos brasileiros. Nós acabamos de lançar um novo recurso chamado Friday Freebies. A cada sexta-feira, vamos mandar para você um novo recurso que criamos para te ajudar a melhorar cada vez mais o seu inglês e também algumas coisas bem engraçadas como behind the scenes da gente. Então, para ficar por dentro disso tudo, é só acessar www.inglesnoicru.com/free, tá? Você também pode entrar na lista de espera do Sound School e também será o primeiro a saber quando as novas applications serão abertas. Você também pode deixar uma review pra gente, hein? Juro, isso ajuda muito, 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 muito. Tudo isso e mais um pouco no inglesnoicru.com. Então vai lá e, como sempre, keep up the good fight and lose well.